Two things show up on Greenwich home inspections more than almost anything else: radon and abandoned underground oil tanks. Both can send a deal sideways, delay a closing, or cost tens of thousands of dollars if you are not prepared for them. And if you are coming from New York City, there is a good chance you have never dealt with either one. Today, I am walking you through exactly what radon and underground oil tanks mean for your purchase, what they cost to deal with, and how to handle them without losing the deal. I am Charles Nedder, a realtor here in Greenwich, Connecticut. By the end of this video, you will know what to expect when these come up on an inspection, what the real costs look like, and how to use this information in your negotiation. Let us start with radon. Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes up from the ground and can accumulate inside homes, particularly in basements and lower levels. You cannot see it, smell it, or taste it. The only way to know if it is there is to test for it. In Connecticut, radon is a required disclosure on the Residential Property Condition Disclosure Report. The EPA has set an action level of 4 picocuries per liter. If a home tests above that level, the EPA recommends mitigation. In Fairfield County, elevated radon levels are not uncommon. This is not a rare finding. It comes up regularly on inspections in Greenwich. Now here is the good news. Radon mitigation is straightforward. A standard sub-slab depressurization system, which is essentially a fan and pipe system that vents the gas from beneath the foundation to the outside, typically costs between $800 and $2,500 depending on the home's foundation type and the severity of the levels. Installation takes 1 to 2 days. Once it is in, the system runs continuously and keeps levels well below the EPA threshold. This is not a deal breaker. It is a solvable problem with a known cost. The question is simply who pays for it, and that is where your inspection contingency and your attorney come in. Now here is where it gets more complicated. Underground oil tanks. If you are buying a home in Greenwich that was built before the 1980s, there is a real chance that property was originally heated with oil. When homeowners converted to natural gas or propane, many of them decommissioned the above-ground tank inside the basement, but left the underground storage tank buried in the yard. These tanks are still there on hundreds of properties across Fairfield County. Some were properly decommissioned and filled with sand or foam. Many were simply abandoned and forgotten. The issue is not the tank itself. It is what happens when a buried steel tank deteriorates over 30 or 40 years. If the tank is intact and has not leaked, removal is relatively straightforward. You are looking at roughly $900 to $3,600 depending on the size of the tank and accessibility. But if the tank has leaked, and after decades in the ground many have, you are now dealing with contaminated soil. That changes the cost dramatically. Moderate soil contamination can run $2,500 to $17,000 to remediate. Extensive contamination, where oil has reached the water table or spread across a larger area, can exceed $20,000, and in serious cases, costs can climb much higher. In Connecticut, any contamination from a residential heating oil tank must be reported, and cleanup must be performed by a permitted spill cleanup contractor. Quick question for you. How do you find out if there is a buried tank? Your home inspector can look for signs: old fill pipes, vent pipes sticking out of the ground, oil supply lines that lead outside the foundation. A ground-penetrating radar scan can confirm whether a tank is present. If the seller's disclosure mentions a past oil heating system, that is a signal to investigate further. And this is the part that matters most for your negotiation. When radon or an underground oil tank shows up on an inspection, you have leverage, but only if you are still within your inspection contingency window. Your attorney can request that the seller remediate before closing, negotiate a credit to cover the cost, or in the case of a contaminated oil tank, require environmental testing before you commit. These are not unreasonable asks. Sellers in Greenwich expect these conversations. The key is knowing what you are dealing with, understanding the cost, and having your attorney structure the request properly. So to bring it all together, radon and underground oil tanks are two of the most common inspection findings in Greenwich. Radon is solvable, affordable, and should never kill a deal. Underground oil tanks range from a minor cost to a major one depending on whether contamination is present. Both are manageable if you know what to expect and have the right team guiding you through the process. The worst thing you can do is be caught off guard. Give me a call at 203-524-4303. There are smart ways to handle this that do not blow up the deal. I am Charles Nedder from Greenwich, Connecticut. I will see you in the next one.